In this episode of Financial Literacy for Beginners, we're going to talk about some things you must remember about money. Cue the intro. So I want to talk about these things you want to keep on the front of your mind whenever you're, thinking about your financial journey and just, attaining your financial freedom. These are the things to keep in the forefront of your mind that will help you get to where you're going in terms of that. The first thing is know your worth. Know your worth. This is a very important concept that, people tend to overlook. We don't really think about our worth specifically in the workplace because, once we get a job or once we get the career we want, we tend to just look at it as, okay, I'm in, I'm in the door. I have to prove myself now. I have to keep proving myself until I get to the point where I'm excelling at the rate I want to excel at whatever job. But I think along the way, what we tend to forget is that we have worth beyond what position we've been put in. And our worth is really determined by us, not whatever situation that is saying, hey, this is how much you're worth per hour or per, year or whatever. I think those things we have to really keep at the forefront of our mind if we really want to succeed at whatever we want to succeed at, monetarily or otherwise. You have to know your worth. You have to know deep down, I am worth what I want to be worth. I see my worth as this, and that's something you determine. No one else can determine that for you. However you project yourself, however you, put that out into the universe with people, that's how they will see you. If you, feel at your core that you're only worth, $10 an hour, then that's what you will project. And 9 times out of 10, that's what you will get for whatever jobs that you're trying to acquire. But if you feel you are worth, $1 million a year, then 9 times out of 10, that's where you're going to be if you set out on that course and have that as your mindset. So always know your worth and put that out into whatever situations that you're in. Always make that a part of your value proposition, which leads me to my next thing. Always value and prioritize your time. Your time is one thing that you have to take seriously in terms of being successful, in terms of getting to where you want to be, and in terms of just enjoying your life and being fulfilled in the things in life that really are important. You have to prioritize your time and take your time seriously because it's something that we don't get back. We don't get our time back. We can get a lot of things back. And I know I've said this before, but there are a lot of things in life that we can lose and get back. But our time, once it's gone, it's gone. We don't have, anything that we can do to get that time back. So really take your time seriously and prioritize it. If you're in a situation where you have to work a lot, if you're in a situation where you're working a job or doing anything else that is really taking a lot of time away from you, prioritize your time. Make sure you're making time for yourself. Make sure you're making time for the things that you love and things that you want to do because, those are the things that are going to keep you happy when everything else is falling to the wayside. You have to be able to make that time for yourself and understand that you've had that time for yourself. Make memories around your time because it's very important. I can honestly say that is one of the things that I see in a lot of people who are even successful, people who have reached a level of success in their lives. And the thing they look back on are the memories that they've made with their time. What memories, and it could be something as simple as, playing with their kids or going on this trip to the mountains with their spouse. Those are the things that really matter when all else doesn't. So make sure in your financial journey or whatever journey you are in life that you are prioritizing your time and making your time important to you. And along with that, the next thing is don't take things for granted. Don't take things for granted. Situations often change. And I've seen this before where people get into a situation where they are doing life-changing things. Their life gets changed where they're making more money or they're able to do the things that they want to do. And what happens is they start to take that for granted and think that it's never going to change. And that's the worst place to be in when things actually do change, because it creates such a disconnect with, your happiness and what you're able to actually muster up and do again. Because if you believe in your mind that things are never going to change and you start to act out on that and take things for granted, when things do change, it's a very huge letdown and it becomes very paralyzing. I've seen people get really paralyzed by this because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to come back from that because they squandered, those relationships, or they squandered that time by being either arrogant or being, at a point where they feel like, oh, I've made it. So, I don't have to be kind anymore. I don't have to be, respectful anymore. All those things that they may have done to get to that point of success, they took for granted, and they start to act differently about those things. And it really does hurt when you get to the point, if that changes and you don't have that success anymore and you don't have those relationships anymore, it really can take a really big toll on the person. So don't take things for granted and enjoy yourself. That's the other thing. You want to enjoy yourself. Enjoy the ride. Don't allow a day to pass where you're not thinking about enjoyment and thinking about the good things and the good possibilities of whatever you're doing. Because again, as time goes on, you want to look back and say, you know what? I had fun doing that. Even if this wasn't a success, I learned this, and in learning this, I had fun. I had enjoyment right here. I love doing this part of this thing. Always have enjoyment in what you're doing, because it will actually build upon your endurance to go further and do other things. I know I've said this before, and I want to say it again. Having enjoyment in what you're doing builds endurance. It strengthens your endurance, and you want to strengthen your endurance in whatever you're doing, because times, they get hard. Things go up and down. You can have whole seasons where things are on their head and things are horrible for a lot of different reasons. But if you have those memories and those moments where you enjoyed yourself in whatever you're doing, those will be your endurance building situations that you can always lean on and always prop yourself up on and move forward through whatever you're going through. Regardless of where you reach, regardless of where you get to in life, be kind and be generous. Even if you are in a situation where you can't give a lot of time to something because you have other things that you're obligated to, and you may be in a situation where you can't have the same kind of conversations with people that you had before, still be kind when you can. Kindness and generosity don't just help the people that you're being kind and generous to. And this is what I want you to understand. Kindness and generosity really help you. And sometimes it takes people a long time to figure that out. And, I hope you figure it out sooner than later. But the kindness and generosity that you give out into the world, it doesn't just help the people that you're giving it to, it also helps you. I hope this has been extremely helpful for someone. And until we talk again, I wish you health, wealth, and freedom.